What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, I want to give you guys a quick market update as Bitcoin has been showing some crazy volatility, giving us a huge pump to the upside today, followed by a mega dump. And now we're kind of just climbing back to the upside. What the heck is going on? Why do we see this pump and dump? And more importantly, what can we expect next as Bitcoin is tapping on an extremely important level of resistance that we've been keeping our eye on here on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel. It's going to be a good one and a quick one. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's get into it. So guys, before we jump into the current price action, I want to play a quick clip from last night's live stream where we were talking about a potential change of character forming in the market, making us expect a potential break of structure to the upside, hitting the actual targets that we are sitting at right now. So let's take a quick look at this and then we'll jump on into the current price action. Lower time frames for this move to the downside. But on the daily, we have the bullish change of character for a lackluster move to the downside, potential higher low for a continuation up. Based off of this, the next thing you would expect is a break of structure to the upside, but not just the market structure calling for that. And shout out to the daily smart trail here, which, as we all know, if you watch the channel, was confluent with that value area low. Very, very strong support and a high likelihood of a higher low for the continuation up. So again, right now, based off market structure, you would expect a break of structure to the upside, which will then print on Lux Algo, and maybe we get that. I am a little bit neutral here in the medium term. If I get stopped out of my shorts, that's totally fine. The long will continue to pay me out, but you have to trade what the chart actually gives you. You have to trade the setups. So as you guys can see, we were looking at that change of character here on the daily, looking for a lackluster pullback into that macro value area low, where we had that confluent smart trail here giving us some nice support, and that is where me and the CandleMafia took that long position in anticipation of getting that potential continuation to the upside. And you guys can see that break of structure we were looking at last night has finally come into play. So the TA playing out absolutely beautifully here, guys, just doing exactly what we wanted to. However, we are now approaching a very, very key level of resistance. As you guys know, we were looking at this liquidity on the heat map sitting at about 66,500 or above 66,500. Looking to come sweep that liquidity. I actually took a scalp short on this actual move to the upside with confirmations, which wound up playing out pretty well for a little bit, but I wound up actually getting stopped out. All our trades can't be winners, even if they are up $1,000 before we get stopped out at break even, but you can't win them all. But as you guys know, we did have some extra liquidity sitting up here, and what happened? Price came back up today to come sweep the rest of that liquidity into those very, very key levels of resistance where we had that POC of the range. And remember, guys, as long as we remain above that $60,000 value area low, that keeps the door open to that POC of the range, which was sitting here at $67,000. And we also had some other key levels sitting up there where we had a local point of control pulled from this range right here, giving us some nice confluence at that area. And we had come up, sweep that liquidity into the resistance, and then we got a pretty aggressive dump after we swept that liquidity. And the question here is, are we going to continue up? Is it time to get mega bullish, or are we just going to get a continuation to the downside? And this is what I want to break down for you guys in today's video. So as we saw that sweep of liquidity, guys, and this is confirmed by seeing that liquidity grabbed here on the liquidation heat maps as well as the order flow charts. I won't bring that up in today's video, but we saw a lot of shorts liquidated on this push up, as well as a lot of longs entering on that push to the upside, fueling that big dump to the downside. So by looking at the order flow, we can see that this big move up was mostly fueled by liquidations of those shorts, and then this big move down was basically just those late longs getting liquidated right after the shorts. So this was an absolute washer machine. Everybody gets wrecked up, everyone gets wrecked down, and now we are just trying to wiggle our way back to the upside. So as we look at price action here, guys, I will say this is still our major range that we are looking at. Our key level to the downside does remain $64,589. If we keep above this level, we can still just use this range as context. And as you guys know, as we saw some key signals on Market Cypher B, such as the 80-minute money flow and 90-minute money flow crossing over into the green, part of the reason why we decided to start being a little bit more greedy with the longs and a little bit more conservative with the shorts. And just to show that, guys, I am still holding a portion of my long position here on Blowfin, up about $1,700. I've taken already about $2,000 out of this position, but I am still holding this because, as you know, we wanted to be a little bit more greedy with the longs after seeing that initial money flow crossover on the 80-minute, as well as that daily change of character, looking for that continuation up. But that doesn't mean we don't take stabs at these shorts. Got that to play out a little bit. And then again, I got stopped out at break even, but that long is continuing to pay me out. And that short setup was given here in the premium Discord, but also being very conservative, getting stopped out at break even, keeping the losses small and the winners big. So we'll have to see if we can get this long to continue to play out. I may take a little bit more profit on this. And don't forget, guys, if you want to long and short this this market and make money whether price is going up or down. We still have our deal on Blowfin. We have a couple of more days here. A lot of the spots have been taken, but we do still have a few open spots for a 15% cashback bonus, which will give you some extra bonus funds depending on how much you deposit, up to $1,500, some free money to trade with. Check that out if you guys are interested. And if you do use that link, you'll also get access to our dining room, which is basically a free trial into the premium where you get a little teaser once a week with a nice trade setup or premium TA post here. And that long setup that I'm in on Blowfin from 59K was given here in that freemium section. Just lucked out that that was the setup that was put in here. So if you use our link, you'll get free access to that as well. And as you guys can see, that long was basically the long from the bottom here. So not too shabby, but I am being cautious for the continuation of this long, guys. It's not that we can't continue up. Obviously, we have gotten a very, very nice move here. And again, above that value area low, continuing into that POC. This does remain that key level to get above. If we're able to flip that POC, that is where we can look for that move up to about $70,000, where we also have a lot of liquidation sitting above $70,000 sitting right here. So if we get up to that value area high, we're going to be very close to coming up and taking that liquidity. And that might be where we could see a little bit of fun start between $70,000 and $74,000. But again, we have to be very careful because this is still a key zone of resistance, and seeing a lot of that liquidity swept could mean that we can get the rejection here. So again, I am interested in potentially finding shorts up here if I get the setup, which we will be trading in the premium Discord, but I will still be treating these as scalps with the possibility of seeing them turn into bigger swing trades if we get the bigger pullback, because again, don't forget we have that change of character on the daily, potentially making us favor the long positions on the pullbacks for higher lows and continuations back up. We don't know exactly what price action we'll look at, but we are going to be taking the little scalp trades, jumping in, grabbing our bag, and jumping out on the way up or on the way down. And if we pull up Market Cipher B here, guys, one thing I will be looking at if we are going to get the bigger pullback is going to be a potential bearish divergence here on these higher time frames into this key level of resistance. Again, I want to reiterate that this zone of resistance between these 2 points of controls are very, very important, especially if we start losing this previous high. It could wind up giving us a bigger correction. Again, not freaking out, still being conservative with the shorts, but this could indicate the pullback if we start to see these higher time frame bear divs start to print. We could potentially get it here on the daily, as well as the 12-hour is also looking to potentially print that bear div. VWAP is coming down, so once we print that red dot, that could be the signal for the pullback. So I will be looking for the shorts up there, guys, but again, I will be managing that risk very tightly. If I get stopped out for small losses on those shorts, the longs will continue to pay me out. I'm not just holding the long on Blowfin that I showed you. I also have other longs open on other accounts, so that will continue to pay me out. Bit of a cushy position here. Whether we come up or down, I would really love to see if I could get a short position up here, and that resistance zone is sitting between the two POCs at about 67.5 all the way down to about 66.455. And then if we get above that level, guys, that value area high locally here at 68.560 is kind of the only thing in the way stopping us from getting to that value area high at $70,000. So I know there's a lot of levels here, a lot of local levels, a lot of macro levels, but in the long term, guys, this is still our major range. We're above that value area low. You simply look for the break of structure into the POC. Boom, check that off. We got that to play out. Now, maybe we get a little bit of a pullback. That's kind of what I am looking for if we can catch that short position, but I will be managing the risk on those very, very heavily in case we are just going to continue to put in higher lows, get above that POC, come up to the value area high, and then take that liquidity above the range high. Hopefully we can get that to play out, guys, but we're not getting emotional. We're not just FOMOing into longs right here. We have to trade what the charts give us. And again, with these bearish divergences, these are going to be the signals on the higher time frames that I'm looking at for that potential pullback. And then if it winds up being the bigger pullback to grab the liquidity below 57 to 58K, then that could turn into a bigger swing trade. But we have to keep that risk nice and tight on the shorts, just based off that bullish break of structure on the daily, on top of the fact that we're above that value area low. And even locally, guys, we are again in this local range with our value area low at about 64.5, POC sitting at 67.3, and then that value area high sitting at 68.5. So we'll have to see what happens here, guys. Now, on top of that, if we look at the 8-hour here, we are also potentially looking to print a little bit of a bearish divergence as well. If we're going to get it, it'll print before the 12-hour. So this could kind of be how we could try to front run that bear div. I don't want to come off too bearish here. Again, being very careful with those shorts right now. I'm not just heavily short, but I will be hunting for those scalps up here at this key resistance for those reasons, alongside the CandleMafia in the premium Discord. So just waiting for price action to develop up here, looking for the signals to actually take the short, and we'll see if we can get a nice little scalp on the way back down. And then I will be keeping you guys updated here on the channel, giving you updates, talking to you guys on the live stream, and hopefully we can just continue to get this TA to play out. So if you're out there, guys, be very careful. It's getting pretty volatile volatile. Make sure you're using a stop loss. Make sure you're taking profits when you're in the green. And if you're not going to take profits, at least make sure you're moving that stop loss to break even. And with all that being said, guys, that's all the time I got for today's market update. Watch those high time frame bear divs. Hopefully we could just invalidate them and come up, but we have to trade with the charts give us. Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps us out a ton over here. And that's all the time I got for today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Frankie Candles out.
Go at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up. Yeah, you know, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we winning by